All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Steve Moran here with at BitcoinHeadlines.tv with my good friend Doug, the BTC Guru Yates. How we doing, Doug?
I'm doing great, man. Got some awesome news today. I can't wait to share it with everyone.
Really? Yeah, it seems like every day you get up, there's totally cool, different stuff to learn about in this industry. I'm kind of like a kid in a candy store every day, getting up. I want to see exactly what's going on today, and it's like, wow, which one am I? Did we make money while we slept again last night?
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're kicking butt. Litecoin's doing incredible. It's just amazing stuff. We're kind of in a little altcoin season.
Ripple's been crushing it too. I mean,
Ripple's doing good. XRP, they're basically kicking butt in their case. I don't follow it too. I mean, I have a bunch of Ripple because I thought it was, when it dipped down, you can't lose buying it that cheaply.
Right.
But you can lose, but the risk is low. Everything's got a risk to it. So, and we're not making any investment advice here. This is what I'm doing. But here's the exciting stuff. We've been talking about adoption, as far as in the cryptocurrency world, and how it's like the adoption graph is almost straight up right now. And what the banks announced this week and this morning, they kind of formalized it, is you could go to any, just type in NY Bit and U.S. banks and Bitcoin, and you'll see their headlines all over that pretty much every U.S. bank is going to offer within the next 6 months crypto services, which means you can go in the bank, you can open up a CD and they'll park it in crypto for you. You can buy crypto at your bank. You can sell crypto at your bank. They'll store your crypto for you. All the services that the exchanges do, they're getting tired. Remember I told you my experience with U.S. Bank, Steve?
Yeah.
About how they didn't like me wiring to Gemini, so they just closed my business account without even asking. And so, but now they're one of the lead people in this crypto world. So they hated it back then, which was not that long ago. And now they want to be custodians and reach out to all their customers and start trading Bitcoin and such with it. So I believe that and I'm not the only one saying this. A lot of people that are doing shows like this are saying the same thing. This is what's one of the biggest news in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin this whole year. It's going to put so much buying pressure on the price. And they're launching with, as far as I understand, is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So, if you have the ability to purchase any of those, it might be a good idea to get those. Not giving you advice, just telling you what the news is out there. I'm in those. Those are all great cryptocurrencies. We had talked about probably 2 weeks ago about we're talking about $1 trillion coming in this quarter just from institutions, corporate institutions, right? And government treasuries. This banking stuff is on top of that. So they think another couple trillion are going to come into the cryptocurrency, right around $3 trillion over this next quarter and a half to 2 quarters. And what does that do to supply and demand? The demand's going to go up because the supply is getting less and less. So that means prices go up. It's exciting times.
It really is. I mean, everything you look at is exciting. I was watching another Mark Cuban again this morning talking more about Bitcoin and Ethereum and the smart contracts. I think is where the real opportunity is. A lot of people are out there. It's kind of wondering. It's like, did we just kind of pop into the Bitcoin world? Did we just kind of get here? And I've had a journey for the last 40 years. Okay, as an entrepreneur. I've built some very large companies, okay, and I've wrestled with the government for about 10 years, okay?
No, that's not fun.
I built a business up for 5 offices, 300 guys working for me, on the phones doing $60 million a year in sales. And then one night we were out in Hawaii, out in the Maui in 1994, I think this was. And got a call from my attorneys, like the SEC. Didn't like the way we were raising money, and they froze $11 million of our assets.
Oh, jeez.
Had to start all over. Okay. We've had internet, we've had all kinds of different things we've done, ups, downs. Okay. I've been coaching and consulting for the last 10 years. I was working on Bitcoin consulting as many as 4 years ago out in the Philippines, and consulting on a chip out there, an ICO or coin for a online casino out there and stuff. And this is something we kind of started spending more time here. And Doug and I started to do this once we both kind of got acquainted with Bitlocity, right? We kind of thought that, okay, we're going to go down this road, and it looks like they got something good over here. And, we both realized that it's such a big market out there. There's so many people out there that want to learn about this industry. They want to learn about this business. They want to really figure out what's going on here. And we've both been doing it just because, maybe you haven't seen, we don't have a big bio. If you go to bitcoinsteven.com, which is sitting right there, that's just going to forward you over right now to my perfect sales funnels business, where we build, literally perfect kind of sales funnels for people. And my business has basically been the background and the core of marketing, building sales funnels, building sales organizations, things along those lines. And now we're just kind of taking that whole into this blockchain realm. I kind of got involved with, digital currency. I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago when Ripple, my son, actually called me up and said, "Hey, Dad," he says, "you got to go check out this thing, man. It's called this XRP. It's Ripple." And I'm like, he's just like 7 cents. And I'm like, "What are you talking, dude? Penny stocks?" And he's like, "No, Dad, it's this like digital currency." And so he kind of walked me through the whole steps back then of got to go to like Bitstamp, and you got to go get this thing. It's going to take like 3 days to get signed up and to do all this deal. And by the time I did it 3 days later, I call him back and I'm like, "Dave, it's already at 11 cents. Did I miss it?" And he's like, "No, Dad, go ahead and do it." So, we threw some money at it, and within like 2 weeks, it was at like 33 cents. And I was like, just, wow, this is pretty insane. And it got up to over $2 around Christmas time, got up to like $2.60 back at that time. And we got out before then, but that was my first, ride with it. And obviously when you start getting in and start seeing something like that, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, this is kind of like the stock market. It's like a digitalized version of the stock market, and you start, learning about it, and then, figuring out how easy it is to really go out and coach and consult on others, because people really don't know about this stuff yet.
Right.
So, the more you're involved in learning about this, the more you can take the skills and talents that you've developed, elsewhere. And, I think that's one of the things that Doug and I were just talking about before we came on today that we're really excited about, is because there's a really big opportunity for you to, earn while you learn about this opportunity. Okay. We're going to show you some things to be able to show you how to earn some really good money, really fast, literally instantaneously, while helping others learn about this business. Okay. And it's going to be something that is not going to be some goofy loop that doesn't work. I mean, it's, it's real. Okay. And that's why we haven't shown you anything yet, because we don't have it all done yet, but we're not in this pre-launch thing that's going to take 3 months to do anything. We're talking about, just a couple of days for things.
We'll be having a pretty exciting webinar. We'll be announcing pretty soon.
Yeah, we got, and we're looking forward to being able to take people and help people go out and show other businesses out there how to do this. Okay. I mean, you would be surprised how easy it is to kind of be a blockchain consultant. Okay. And just easily be able to charge $200 on, for an hour phone call with somebody answering questions, talking about things, and learning how to position yourself, learning how to go out and use social media to your benefit, to go out and find, people that you can communicate with. And as long as you provide good quality content for those people, you can probably build a pretty good audience, and people will, going to want to engage with it. When you do some content that, one thing you find out about doing content is, if the content you're doing, if they don't like it, don't do content like that. You do content that they do like, and then you kind of go forward. But it's going to be such an opportunity, guys, helping other businesses move from the traditional, brick and mortar class internet, moving into blockchain is going to be unbelievable with these smart contracts, the things that can be done. Once business owners recognize that they can structure things in a way to where they're always going to get paid, they're not going to have credit card fees and chargebacks, everybody's going to jump on this bandwagon. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's going to jump on this bandwagon. So you can either, ride with this wave and kind of move with it, or you can watch it happen,
and it's real simple. It's the steps are very, very simple. There's a couple points I wanted to highlight that you said, Steve. If I'm going into war, what kind of general do I want? Do I want the general this is his first time out in the real world leading me, or do I want a true battle-tested, been wounded many times? He got 2 bullet hole wounds in his right arm, but he knows how to get in and out of a war. And entrepreneurship and business, it's obviously a lot of people tout the book Art of War. That's use that in your business, and that's great advice and stuff. But that's who I want to learn from, is people that have that knowledge, that wisdom, come from being battle tested, is invaluable, because you can be more successful in business knowing what not to do than what to do. You'll figure out what to do. If you knew what not to do, so you can streamline what to do, your business is going to be successful without all the potholes and all the learning curves and stuff like that. That School of Hard Knocks, it's very, very, very valuable. And I'm the same way. I went down the same road, as you, Steve. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. My ups are greater than my downs, which are great. And you just kind of take it in stride as an entrepreneur. But I don't want to scare people off about being an entrepreneur. In this day and age, pretty much everybody is an entrepreneur. If you're a mom running a family, you're an entrepreneur. If you're have any type of critical thought and critical thinking, you can be an entrepreneur. You could start a side business, a home business, anything you want to do, because this internet is at our fingertips.
You're so connected to everybody. Doug, when you and I were growing up, remember when you got a job, the first job I had, you had to get a job within like 5 miles of your house, because
you ride your bike to it.
That's just what you had to do, right? So, and it's like, now if you're not trying to figure out how you can, take globally, globally you can reach out and you can have audiences and people that you can deal with all over the world. And we've got a revolution coming with this blockchain. We've got a literal revolution coming with this blockchain that's going to help people, move into a whole different stratosphere with things.
We'll continue to talk about this in other sessions. I don't want to to prolong this, but there are a couple of things that came up today, a little off the subject, but it's on the blockchain and learning and all that good stuff. I was being asked by other people, hey, what's the difference between a coin and a token? And I'm like, well, that's a great question. A lot of people use that interchangeably, that a cryptocurrency coin and a cryptocurrency token are the exact same thing. And they're really not technically, but as from just an outside point of view, you could say they're the same things. But I'll give you a short definition, and just part of the education that we're providing here. A coin is a native digital currency that runs on its own blockchain. So Bitcoin is that way. Ethereum is that way. Monero is that way. Litecoin is that way. They're on their own blockchains, which means their own ledger. It's not an altcoin. You see, altcoins run on top of another blockchain. So, like Ethereum has like 80% of the altcoins. I could be exaggerated with 80, maybe more.
They run on Ethereum, right?
Run on top of this Ethereum blockchain, and those are tokens. They value add. They add attributes and features to that blockchain that it doesn't have, and you could trade them just like you can coins and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a high level difference between a coin and a token. Coins that run on their own blockchain, tokens run on other people's blockchains, and they value add that blockchain. And so it's good to know as you're going out there, knowing that there is a difference. You can trade them both on exchanges. That's why a lot of the altcoins are paired with real blockchains. Everything's paired with Bitcoin because it's the foundation. And then almost everything else is paired with Ethereum because they're called ERC20 coins, and they run on the Ethereum blockchain.
Right.
The company that I'm CTO of, the Market Hive, our coin runs on the Ethereum blockchain. We're moving it to Cardano because we think that's the next generation of Ethereum. But that's where we did it, because that's where everybody was doing it at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of how they run. It's kind of like if you think about an automobile manufacturer. Okay, you've got an automobile manufacturer that manufactures the entire car, right? They put the entire car together. But then you've got on top of that, because of that, now you've got like all these parts industries and all these other industries that and businesses that are all evolved from that, right? That are kind of built on top of that car industry. If there wasn't that industry, then there wouldn't be all of these other opportunities that come from that. It's kind of similar to what the Ethereum kind of does, right? It kind of opens up all these other doors for all these other opportunities.
Absolutely. And and why is it important that these banks are going to open up and store and take Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, obviously the adoption is great, and the more and more people that use it in commerce, the better. And why is it better to use a blockchain and a cryptocurrency in commerce? And we've been pointing that out since we started. The storage of wealth in Bitcoin is absolutely tremendous. It offsets inflation plus. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins. So there's only so much out there. And, we believe about 12% of those are lost forever. They'll never be found. It's people that lost their wallets or died or whatever. And they'll never, so that even reduces it. And that brings in the whole supply and demand stuff. And so another great question is, hey, at the end of this year, do you think the bull run in Bitcoin is going to be over? And I personally say no.
No.
You really can't apply stock terms to cryptocurrency because it's the same, but it's a lot different. There's not companies involved. There's not humans involved that can make mistakes or do crazy stuff or steal from you. Blockchains do one thing only, and that's what they're programmed to do, and that's it. They have no emotion. They have no ulterior motives. They just do. It's like truth in code, basically.
And they have algorithmic scarcity. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Most importantly, they have algorithmic scarcity. Okay. And that's where, again, like you're saying, you can't have a CEO that makes a decision and goes and has an affair and that affects your stock price.
Right.
Okay. Or you have you can't have like a CFO who's has two sets of books going,
right.
Not with a blockchain. You can't do that kind of stuff. So that means it's like, not only are you going to save money, like we've talked about before on, credit cards, chargebacks, things along those lines, but the whole types of things that can be automated through it, you're going to save money on accounting costs, on all kinds of other different costs as a business owner, right, Doug?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you brought it up, smart contracts, they're only getting better. They're called smart contracts, not because they're smarter. They just are, once they're in the blockchain and program, they just carry out the contract without thinking, without trying to. What's the hard thing? I sign contracts all the time with other people, and people go, "Oh, that's great." I go, "No, that was the hard part. It's making sure all the parties involved in this contract actually fulfill the terms of the contract."
Yeah.
And then getting paid off of it. It's just, it's a struggle, and that's part of business in the past. Blockchain is going to make that part not as big as a struggle as it was before. And, people before going in agreements are going to think twice. It kind of weeds out the people that are going into agreements knowing they're going to break them. You can't do that with blockchain.
Well, right. And that's the thing is when you have an agreement, I've told many guys that, I've done a lot of, I used to do a lot of work with cosmetic dentists, real high-end dentists, right?
Yeah.
Marketing work and stuff like that. And, a lot of these doctors, they want a contract. And it's like, we're signing up to do this thing for, $3,000 a month or something like that. And they'll say, so let me see the agreement. I'll say, you know what, doctor, let me just tell you something. I can sign all the agreements I want, but if I'm not a good guy and you don't believe me and we don't do that deal, none of that matters,
right.
Literally, because, that's the way it does. It doesn't really matter, in that kind of a contract. And do you have leverage? How do things really work? I mean, you don't know what kind of situation you're really getting yourself into that kind of a commitment, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For a smart contract, it's like, why do people use escrows? Okay. When it comes to buying a house, is because they want to make sure everybody gets what they're supposed to get. Right. Because otherwise it's like, oh, you get the money. Oh, then Steve's going to get it. And then he's going to give you what you're supposed to get. Right.
Yep. Yeah. Right now, to do a smart contract, you got to know coding and stuff like that, but that's kind of going away. I'd say between now and the end of the year.
It's like websites, right? Remember what it used to be? I mean, when it first got into this,
you're right. You nailed it.
It was like with Dreamweaver and all these other things back then. It was like
take forever. You could go to Wix.com and have a website.
Now it's all drag and drop, easy, boom, 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 and they're going to follow the same formats, the same kind of user interfaces that they're going to have.
Yeah.
And it's going to become just as simplistic. Okay. I mean, that's just simplistic, but it's going to come faster because, every year our processing power just keeps getting more and more and more. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that we've got that goes along with this that we, haven't even talked about, but it's going to really evolve into helping these other business owners become more successful, longer, faster, and, is AI, right? Because they're going to be able to plug artificial intelligence, which, into these equations also.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what social media does and with, they watch what we're doing. I got to tell you something that's hilarious. Yeah. So my son, he's been staying with us. They're down for about a week, him and his wife, newly married. It's awesome to see him again. They live in Northern California. And so he came down and we have the Apple speakers that are hooked up to the internet. And he wanted some music. And my son's name's Dakota. He goes, "Hey, Siri, please play this song." And Siri said, "Hey, Dakota, good to hear from you. I will play that song for you." And we all flipped out. He's like, "How the heck did it know that it was me, Dakota? How does it know my name? This is freaky." And that's what we all kind of get scared of about social media. My point is, the blockchain, you can get the same sort of information out of the blockchain, but it's anonymous. It's these addresses that are out there, but you can see who, when, where, and what, and how much, and get demographics and that kind of stuff from it without attaching it to a person, which is a good thing. So as companies, you get some great marketing information, and as consumers, you're able to step back and have them not be so personal and intrusive in our lives. Mm-hmm. I believe a pure blockchain can do that. It can do the opposite too, but it's going to start putting these social media data grabbers and stuff out of business, which I love. No more banning us for what if they don't like a word we're saying or whatever, and be able to put the control back into us, the people, the consumers. Businesses would not be around without us. They need our money, and so we work hard for our money. We don't have to give them our money unless we really like what they're going to give us or the service they're going to provide. Be skeptical. It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to be scarce with your hard earnings. You don't have to buy something. I'll end on this. Samsung was doing a study, and somehow I got involved. They brought me down to their headquarters in Silicon Valley, and at the time I was huge on the subject of basically resigning as a consumer because I got tired of them basically trying to convince me that my money should be theirs. And so I told the marketing research group, I go, "I'm done." And they're like, "We're real interested." They brought a whole film crew to my house, filmed me and pontificating on how I thought consumers are being brainwashed and we really need to resign. And I wrote on to the world type of letter saying, "I'm resigning as a consumer. I'm going to keep my hard-earned money, and I'm only going to give it to people that I want to give it to, and people that have strong morals, good craftsmanship, bring great value." And I don't know if they made fun of me behind the scenes or whatever, but they were very interested. And I'll sum it up with this: the blockchain really reinforces that type of mentality of bringing the power back to the individuals, us, and that we can control it. We can use the bank services like we talked about yesterday and give up a little freedom or a little control to them to be able to make it a lot easier for us. That's fine too. But if you want to do the work and control it 100%, you can do that too. It's all about being, free, liberty, all that good stuff.
Right.
And I think the blockchain world, the Bitcoin world, really reinforces that type of mentality. Brings back critical thinking. Critical thinking is so important.
It really is. The opportunity for everybody to make more, do more, and be more without spending more in this kind of day and age is unbelievable.
Yeah.
When I got started in business, we were leasing office space and, we were running these big phone rooms and, that's when you had to pay for long distance phone service. Remember that used to be a business, right? And we used to have these things called T1 lines in our office. Okay. And they'd cost like $20,000 a month for these T1 lines. I had 5 offices. That was long distance. That would, it's crazy. And, now, and think about it. When we were younger, you had to get in the car to go to work. Okay. And you definitely had to get in the car to go to the store. Okay. And now you don't have to get in the car to go to work. Okay. And you don't have to work regionally. You can, and you don't have to extend your reach only regionally. You have a global reach now without leaving your house. Okay. To either sell things globally or to buy things globally.
Right.
Okay. Or to add value, create a community, add value to that community. Okay. And then you can kind of write your own ticket and do whatever you want to do after that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, the smartest thing that I ever did is, about 7 years ago, I started going to some very high level masterminds. Okay. And, these are, things that cost $25,000 a year plus, okay, to different things. But they're run by guys, they're facilitated by guys that are making like 8 figures, online. And, they show you what they are really doing, because, in case a lot of you guys don't understand how like a lot of the internet marketing works is a lot of times these big gurus, they go out and they do something and they get a lot of success with it until they bleed it as hard as they can. And then they turn it into a product and then they go sell it to you. And now you're doing something and it's just not working the same for you as it worked for them. But they're off to doing the next thing. And it's like, if you want to bypass the retail piece of the chain there, okay, you have to like join a mastermind and like move yourself up to the top. Okay. And it's funny because Tony Robbins has been a mentor of mine for like 35 years now. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I've been through so many different things with Tony Robbins, the firewall, just so many different things. It's been unbelievable. And, he is, lost my train of thought there. Where am I going? What was I saying about that?
You're talking about, self-improvement and helping others and being a good business person, all in that realm.
Oh yeah. So the opportunity is now. We can reach anybody out there, okay? Right. And by adding value, these mastermind units that I was going. So it was Tony. That's what I was talking with Tony. I'm sorry. So Tony runs 5 of the highest level mastermind groups a year, right? Mm-hmm. His top level one is $250,000 a year.
Wow.
Okay? He runs 3 for $100,000 a year. And then his starter program is his platinum group. There's 400 people in it. It's held at his resort in Fiji, and it costs $89,600. Okay.
Wow.
And at the end of the week, like 97% of the people sign up again. Okay. So
that's amazing. That means he's providing a great value for the money.
He is, and I had the opportunity about 4 years ago to go through a training with Tony, and he taught us how to go put on these kind of mastermind events, which is what we were doing before COVID hit, right? Put on all these wonderful mastermind events and bring people in and collaborate together. And, so we've done a lot of these kinds of events and stuff like this, and they're just so empowering. It's just so empowering to surround yourself with people that are kind of, out there that know stuff that you don't know. I guess that's the cool thing is I never want to be the smartest guy in a room. I always love to walk into a room with a whole bunch of smart people out there and figure out, what can I learn today? Because the opportunities are huge, everybody. We're already sitting at home, hunkered in down by the computer, figure out what you want to do and you can do it. You just got to put the time and effort in behind it.
Yeah. I read it. I read an article yesterday about the most successful real estate broker in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
He does billions of sales. And It's just this one guy, he has obviously people working underneath him and such. But during this COVID time, he used to travel all over the world to wine and dine his buyers because he's selling 50 million, 100 million plus properties, which, takes a big deal. But since COVID, he's been doing it all online, and he says he'll never go back to traveling again. Because of it's like you said, from our little computer, a little laptop, you can reach anybody in the world. You can show them anything.
Outside the properties. Think about it from a real estate standpoint. A few years ago, like if you wanted to get footage of a beautiful property up in the air, he says, couldn't do that. I got a drone in here. I could pull out my drone. I could launch it off my balcony here. I live on the penthouse of this building up here in San Diego. I could go up and launch, just take it right out the thing, and you could be like about 8 miles away, and I could fly that thing right over it up. I could go over anybody's place. I could get all this amazing 4K photography.
Yeah.
Okay, and have it back here like instantly. It's like, really? This kind of stuff that we can do nowadays, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and we'll close it today with this. This blockchain world is new, so stay connected to us. Stay watching. Every day we'll be sharing something new that we've learned. With the Bitcoin headlines is where we lead into. It kind of letting you know what's the pulse is happening out there. We'll give you our take on it as seasoned entrepreneurs and business men and that. And we're not opposed to business women. I don't want to go down that road. But as through our experiences and our wisdom and the good, bad, and ugly, we can share with you. And our whole goal is to help you learn, and while you're learning, help you earn, and help you earn specifically, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the cryptocurrencies, which we have, we believe have a great larger store of value than dollar fiat money.
Absolutely. We wouldn't, you couldn't feel right even paying somebody in that, because it'd be, you're putting them in something you know is going to go losing in value. It's like you're giving, and you're giving them something that's going down in value instead of something else that they can have the opportunity. If you want to hold it at that price, go ahead. If you want to, make some money with it, there's so many ways to do it.
Absolutely. So stay tuned. We'll be back here tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Have a good one.